first question is,
Yeah.
what inspired you to do jazz?
Well,
Jazz.
as a kid, I started to play all types of music, and jazz seemed to be like the classical music of blues and pop music, so that kind of gravitated me towards it. And I don't know, it just seemed like a natural progression to me, you know. It's kind of like graduating, and then years later I started to do arrangement writing, so that's kind of another thing. So I think it's nice to move on to other things, and so when I first got into jazz music, it seemed like kind of nice because it was sort of advanced, serious music, just like classical music. So that was what the attraction was, you know.
Why jazz?
Say it again?
Why jazz?
Well, I think if you're improvising, yeah. Hey, I know you.
I thought the end was sort of like, wow,
It's for Danny. Danny Daniels. I think he had a stroke. So
no, where's Wes?
He's right here. Yeah, I'll be right there. Yeah.
Oh, did you want to? You can.
No, it's okay. We already dealt with this. Jazz is sort of like, you know, you have blues music and all that. Jazz is sort of the classical music of that. So it's, if you want to study music, it's kind of a, I don't want to say more advanced with pop music, but in a way it is, you know, in a rough way, you know. So it's more challenging, and it seemed to be more interesting to study, you know. And also, you said why jazz? A better answer is you get to improvise a lot in jazz. You write a song over the song. That's kind of what jazz does. Yeah, it's a composition within a composition.
Who are your jazz heroes?
I liked all of them, all the greats from years ago. I liked Johnny Smith, Wes Montgomery, Charlie Christian, Jim Hall, all sorts of people, and then, you know, every other jazz musician, Duke Ellington, Charlie Parker, you name it, you know. So I like them all.
How young were you when you first started playing jazz?
I started guitar about 13, 14. It was a year or two into it. I started to get into it. Maybe by 16, you know. So yeah, and it takes a while because, you know, there's a lot to learn and a lot to listen to, you know. So a lot of history there. But you know, you got to try to learn something every day.
And what would you recommend to young musicians starting out?
I think studying composition is very good. If you play jazz or play classical music or any kind of music, I think studying composition is good because it teaches you about the whole orchestra, and it teaches you about, it just makes you a better musician, you know, than just playing an instrument. So that's what I would say is really a good thing to study for a young musician. Yeah, I don't play too many other instruments now, but I do a lot of writing, and I have here's my card here, you can always email me.
Thank you.
Basically, I do the writing is like a second instrument. I had to learn to conduct because if you write some things rubato, you know, you have to learn to, you know, move the orchestra along. So thank you so much. And I would say that, you know, the writing is, it's like another instrument, you know, it's a whole other thing than playing. So, you know, I think I'd like to pick up another instrument again. When I was a kid on trombone, it did teach me breathing because you have to breathe in phrase. So it's always good to try another instrument, but I didn't stay with it, you know.
Were you in? Did you have a jazz band in high school?
You know, it wasn't really formed that way back then. They didn't really, well, at least where I went, they didn't really have a jazz band. They had some after school stuff, but then later on they started to have more jazz bands. So it'd be nice if they did more than school, you know. How about your school? Does it have a jazz band? Or?
It used to.
That's what I mean, yeah.
I don't know if
it's inconsistent. Yeah, very much so, yeah. What school are you with?
I went to Pearl City High School.
Right.
So it was on and off.
On and off, yeah.
Depending on the
budget and everything, it's a
Even
shame.
for a couple days, I started the jazz band with keyboards and everything, but then again, because of funding,
Right.
it's, yeah, like we tried to petition for it as much as possible
Right.
with, you know, our principal and everything, but still it
Still
didn't.
didn't
Yeah.
fly.
See, like I started off my junior year, which was
Right.
like would have been the best, and then my senior year I would have, you know, gradually went on with it. But because of that loss of 1 year, and they didn't allow it as an extra class for us.
Are you still playing?